Listen, there are moments in life when your silence becomes your greatest protection. And there are moments when the things you share with the wrong people become the very knife that cuts your peace, your confidence, and your destiny. Today, I want to speak to you like a friend, like someone who has learned these lessons the hard way. Because the truth is, not everyone around you deserves a seat at your table. Not everyone deserves access to your heart, your dreams, your wounds, or your plans. You might not notice it right away, but the things you share can shape the direction of your entire life. So let me tell you something important. If you want a peaceful mind, a strong spirit, and a life protected from unnecessary pain, there are 9 things you should never share with anyone. These aren't just ideas, they are shields. They are boundaries. They are life lessons that will save you years of hurt, disappointment, and regret. The first thing you should never share is your biggest plans. Not because your dreams aren't beautiful, but because most people won't understand them. Some will doubt you. Some will discourage you. Some will laugh. And some, without saying a word, will secretly hope you fail, because your growth reminds them of their own stagnation. Your plans need silence to grow, just like seeds need soil. The moment you start announcing everything you're building, you invite resistance, jealousy, and unnecessary opinions. Real progress requires privacy. Let your results speak, not your announcements. The second thing you should never share is your weaknesses. You may think being open makes you honest, and yes, honesty is good, but revealing your deepest vulnerabilities to the wrong person can become ammunition in their hands. Not everyone who listens cares. Not everyone who smiles is your friend. And not everyone who comforts you today will keep your secrets tomorrow. Protect the parts of you that are still healing, not because you're hiding, but because you're growing. Share your struggles only with those who have earned your trust, not with those who will use and control you, belittle you, or gossip about you. The third thing you should never share is your financial situation. Whether you're struggling or succeeding, money attracts judgment. If you're broke, people will criticize your decisions. If you're doing well, people will suddenly expect favors, loans, and generosity you may not be ready for. Your financial life is your private business. Keep it between you, your bank account, and your goals. Humility and silence protect you from envy, manipulation, and unnecessary expectations. The fourth thing to never share is your kindness without limits. Yes, kindness is a strength, but too much kindness shown to the wrong people becomes self-destruction. When you give too much, too soon, too freely, people stop appreciating you. They start expecting. They start demanding. They start taking advantage. You must protect your energy. You must learn to say no. You must remember that generosity without boundaries doesn't make you good. It makes you empty. Give, but don't bleed. Help, but don't lose yourself. The fifth thing you should never share is your next move, because people can't ruin what they don't know. Every time you speak about what you're going to do, your next project, your next job, your next investment, your next step, someone somewhere starts working quietly to slow you down, not because they are evil, but because your progress threatens their comfort. Keep your moves private. Let the world see only the result. The sixth thing you should never share is your family problems. Every family has conflicts, disagreements, flaws, and scars. But exposing your family issues to outsiders invites judgment, gossip, and disrespect. People will remember the mistakes your family made long after you've forgiven them. Protect your household. Protect the dignity of your parents, your siblings, your children. Work on your issues privately. Heal internally. Families grow stronger through unity, not public attention. The seventh thing you should never share is your good deeds. If you help someone, keep it in your heart. You don't need applause. You don't need validation. Real kindness is quiet. When you advertise your generosity, it loses its purity. It becomes performance. Remember, the world doesn't need to know the good you do, only the people who receive it. Let your character, not your social media posts, reflect who you are. The eighth thing you should never share is your deepest fears. Fear is a window to your soul. If the wrong person knows what scares you, they can control you, manipulate you, or break you. Your fears are part of your inner battles, battles that only you can conquer. Share them only with the rare people who truly uplift you, not those who secretly enjoy seeing you struggle. And the ninth thing you should never share is something most people overlook: your past mistakes. Yes, you've done things you regret. Yes, you've made errors, trusted the wrong people, taken wrong turns. But your past is a teacher, not a tattoo on your forehead. You don't need to give people a list of your previous failures. The wrong people will use your past to judge you, gossip about you, or limit you. You deserve to evolve without being chained to the person you used to be. And as you hear these words, I want you to pause for a moment and think, how many of these things have you already shared with someone who didn't deserve to hear them? How many times have you opened your heart to people who didn't know how to handle it? How many times have you been hurt because you trusted too easily, too quickly? You're not alone. We've all been there. But today you're wiser. Today you understand that privacy is power. Silence is protection. Boundaries are freedom. And choosing what to share and with whom is one of the most valuable life skills you can learn. This is not about being secretive. This is about being smart. This is about guarding your peace, your growth, and your future from people who aren't meant to shape them. There comes a point in life when you realize that protecting your inner world is not selfish, it's survival. And as we continue, I want you to listen with your whole heart, because what I'm about to tell you isn't just information. It's a shield that will protect your peace for the rest of your life. You see, every time you share too much, you give someone the power to influence your mood, your direction, and even your destiny. When you talk freely without awareness, you open doors for people to judge you, misunderstand you, and in some cases, quietly root against you. And that's why these lessons matter. These aren't just ideas. These are boundaries that carry wisdom written by life itself. Let's go deeper into why silence is such a powerful force. Think about a moment when you trusted someone too quickly. You told them something personal, something heavy, something you thought they would protect. But later, you found out they shared with others. Maybe they twisted your words. Maybe they laughed behind your back. Maybe they used your story to make themselves look better. And when you found out, it hurt, not just because they betrayed you, but because you realized you gave them access to a part of you that wasn't meant for them. That is the cost of oversharing. That is the price of ignoring your own boundaries. Your life has chapters that not everyone deserves to read. Some pages are for you alone. Some lessons are too sacred to be exposed. When you start guarding yourself, not out of fear but out of wisdom, everything changes. You start noticing who truly respects you. You start understanding who listens out of care and who listens out of curiosity. And slowly, you begin to surround yourself with people who value your presence, not your secrets. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that everyone around them is rooting for their success. But the truth is, not everyone can handle your growth. Some people like you better when you are small, confused, and dependent. The moment you start improving, the moment you start rising, the moment you start gaining clarity, those same people become uncomfortable. Your success becomes a mirror reflecting their insecurities. And this is exactly why you must protect your dreams, your plans, and your next steps. Silence doesn't mean weakness. Silence means strategy. It means maturity. It means you no longer need to prove anything to anyone. Imagine how peaceful your life becomes when you stop announcing every move, every idea, every struggle. You take the pressure off yourself. You eliminate unnecessary opinions. And you remove the distractions that come from explaining your journey to people who aren't even walking beside you. There's something else most people don't realize. When you share less, people value your words more. Your voice becomes stronger when it's not scattered everywhere. Your intentions become clearer when they're not diluted by constant validation seeking. And your path becomes brighter when you allow your actions to do the talking. Think about your fears for a moment, the things that keep you awake at night, the worries that sit heavy on your chest. These fears are deeply personal. Not everyone deserves to know them, because when people discover what worries you, they see your pressure points. They see the areas where you feel unsure. And while the right people will support you, the wrong ones will use your fears to limit you. They'll make you doubt yourself. They'll remind you of your weaknesses just when you're trying to rise. So learn to face your fears privately with strength and self-respect. You don't need the world to validate your healing journey. And let's talk about your financial life. Most people don't realize how dangerous it is to share their money situation with others. Whether you're struggling or succeeding, money changes the way people treat you. When you're struggling, some will judge you. Some will distance themselves. Some will silently look down on you. And when you're doing well, the same people will suddenly reappear with expectations, requests, and hidden jealousy. People's hearts often change when money enters a picture. Protect your financial moves the same way you protect your future. Quietly, wisely, privately. Another important thing to protect is the goodness inside your heart, your kindness, your generosity, your willingness to help. These are beautiful traits. But when you give too much too fast, you drain yourself. You start carrying burdens that don't belong to you. You start saying yes when your soul is begging you to say no. People take advantage of the soft-hearted, not because they're evil, but because you've trained them to expect more than you can handle. Remember, the strongest version of you is the one that sets boundaries, the one that gives, but not at the cost of their own well-being. And think for a moment about family issues. Every family has problems, arguments, misunderstandings, and painful histories. But when you expose these things to outsiders, you allow strangers to disrespect the people you love. When you speak carelessly about your family's issues, you create wounds that become harder to close. Protect your home. Protect the dignity of those who raised you, even if they weren't perfect. Some stories are meant to stay within the walls where they were created. And finally, your past mistakes. You are not the same person you were years ago. You have grown. You have learned. You have healed. The world doesn't need to know every wrong turn you've taken. So listen to me carefully. The more private you become, the more powerful you remain. Privacy is not about hiding. It's about choosing. Choosing what to reveal. Choosing who deserves access. Choosing when to speak and when to stay silent. Because when you control your tongue, you control your life. When you guard your energy, you guard your peace. And when you protect your inner world, you protect your destiny. Life becomes lighter when you stop oversharing. Life becomes calmer when you stop explaining. Life becomes stronger when you stop giving people weapons to hurt you. Choose silence. Choose wisdom. Choose peace. Because not everything in your life is meant to be public. Some things are meant to be lived, not spoken. Some victories are meant to be felt, not announced. And some lessons, like the ones you've heard today, will protect you for the rest of your life.